We'll continue with the discussion of module 3. The next topic is illustration of the design process. In the last class, we have seen what are the steps involved in the design process, and for efficient design process, the structure has to be repetitive. So this is given by the term regularity. Regularity defines the total number of transistors on the chip to that of the total number of transistors to be designed in detail. Okay. So this will actually reduce the design time if the regularity is high. In the last class, we have looked into the design of a barrel shifter, where we have considered a 4x4 barrel shifter. So totally the number of transistors are 16, and all 16 transistors are same. We are using a N MOSFET. So 16 by 1. So the regularity factor is 16. Similarly, if we consider a 8x8 barrel shifter, there are total number of 64 transistors. All transistors are same, so divided by 1, that is equal to 64. So regularity should be as high as possible to reduce the design effort, and for good regularity, the regularity factor should be 50, 100 or more. This is an ALU subsystem. In the last class, we have looked into the design of a shifter. So this class will look into the design of an ALU. So he especially will focus on adder circuit. When we speak about adder, there are two types of adder, that is the half adder and the full adder. Here we will be considering a full adder. For a full adder, there are three inputs, that is A, B, these are the actual inputs, and C, that is a carry that is generated from the previous stage, and it has two outputs, that is sum and carry. This is the truth table for an adder. This is for 1-bit addition we have considered. So three inputs represented as AK, BK and CK minus 1, where AK and BK are the inputs at the kth stage, and CK minus 1, it is a carry from the previous stage, and we get two outputs, that is the sum SK at the kth stage and the carry at the kth stage, that is CK. Okay, now from the truth table, we will try to find the relationship between SK and inputs as well as CK and the inputs. So here, as three inputs are there, we have totally 2 to the power 3, that is 8 different combinations of inputs. Okay. Now here in the truth table, you can see that when AK and BK are same, then SK is same as CK minus 1. So here you can see AK and BK are 0, SK is 0, CK minus 1 is also 0. Then the next combination, here we can see that when AK and BK, when both are 1, SK is 0, SK is same as CK minus 1, which is equal to 0. The next combination, that is AK and BK are 0, SK is same as CK minus 1, that is SK is equal to 1. CK minus 1 is also 1. And for the last combination, SK is 1, AK and BK are 1, CK minus 1 is 1. So we can conclude that for some operation, SK is same as CK minus 1 when AK is equal to BK. Suppose AK is not equal to BK. Let us see what happens when AK and BK are different. When AK is 0, BK is 1, SK is 1, CK minus 1 is 0. When AK is 1, BK is 0, SK is 1, CK minus 1 is 0. Let us check into the other two combination. When AK is 0, BK is 1, SK is 0, CK minus 1 is 1. And when AK is 1, BK is 0, SK is 0, CK minus 1 is 1. So here we can see that when AK and BK are different, SK is the complement of CK minus 1. So we can conclude that when AK and BK are same, SK is same as CK minus 1, and when AK and BK are different, SK is equal to CK minus 1 bar. Let us try to find the relation between the inputs and the other output, that is CK. When AK is 0, BK is 0, CK is 0. When AK is 1, BK is 1, CK is 1, CK minus 1 is 0. So here we don't find any relation between CK and CK minus 1. Let us look into the other two combination. When AK is 0, BK is 0, CK is 0. And when AK is 1, BK is 1, CK is 1. So we can conclude that when AK is equal to BK, then CK is same as AK or BK, as AK and BK are same. Let us see what happens when the inputs are different. When AK is 0, BK is 1, CK is 0. When AK is 1, BK is 0, CK is 0. For both the cases, CK minus 1 is 0. When AK is 0, BK is 1, CK is 1, CK minus 1 is 1. And when AK and BK, it is 1 and 0, CK is 1, CK minus 1 is 1. Okay, here we see that when AK is not equal to BK, then CK is same as the previous stage, that is CK minus 1. So we can conclude that when AK is equal to BK, CK is equal to AK or BK, and when AK is not equal to BK, CK is same as CK minus 1. We can see the adder element at the kth stage. AK and BK are the two inputs. CK minus 1 is the carry from the previous stage, and CK is the present carry output, and SK is the present sum output, that is at kth stage. Here we have generalized and we have written in the form of expression. When AK is equal to BK, SK is equal to CK minus 1, and when AK is not equal to BK, SK is equal to complement of CK minus 1 or CK minus 1 bar, we can say. And for carry, when AK is equal to BK, CK is equal to AK or BK, and when AK is not equal to BK, CK is equal to CK minus 1. Let us look into the schematic that is designed using the pass transistors. We know that when the NMOS gate input is 1, whatever is at the source, that is made available at the drain. So from the truth table and from the expressions that are being generated, this schematic is being drawn. And here you can see that when AK and BK, when both are 1, then the first row, that is a condition in the first row, when AK and BK both are 1, both the NMOS transistors are turned on and SK is same as CK minus 1. When AK and BK, when both are 0, So look into the second row in the schematic. Here we are giving the gate input as AK bar and BK bar. So AK and BK, as it is 0, the complemented inputs are given, hence both the NMOS transistor turns on and SK is same as CK minus 1. For the other two combinations, that is when AK and BK are different. When AK and BK are different, that is for one combination 0 and 1, AK bar becomes 1, BK is 1. So the transistors in the third row, both the transistors are enabled and SK is equal to CK minus 1 bar. And for the last combination, that is AK is 1, BK is 0. Here in the fourth row, BK bar input is given. So AK is 1, BK bar becomes 1. Both the transistors are turned on and SK is equal to CK minus 1 bar. This is the expression what we have obtained earlier. That is, when AK is equal to BK, SK is same as CK minus 1, and when AK is not equal to BK, SK is equal to CK minus 1 bar. Okay. And here, since the sum output should be retained for a long time, it requires a buffering circuit. So in a buffering circuit, we use one additional NMOS transistor for which a clock input is given, so that signal gets periodically refreshed and an inverter is used. Let us make some modification for the previous circuit. Here you can see that when AK and BK, when both are same, SK is equal to CK minus 1. But what is the change we have to do in the present circuit then? Since we have used an inverter at the output end, when AK and BK both are same, we have to give a input, that is CK minus 1 bar, because the inverter at the output end will complement the input and give you the output. So here you can see the changes that are being made. When AK and BK, when they are same, that is AK and BK, they are either 1 or either 0. For both the cases, CK minus 1 bar input is given, right? So when clock input is given, it is made available at the output end. So finally we can say that when AK and BK, when both are same, SK is equal to CK minus 1. Similar is the case for the other two conditions. When AK and BK are different, in the previous case, in the circuit we can see that input is CK minus 1 bar. As we are using an inverter at the output end, this input should be complemented and hence it becomes CK minus 1. So here you can see that when AK and BK, when they are different, so here the input CK minus 1 is made available. This is given to the inverter, hence SK becomes CK minus 1 bar. This is about the circuit for sum. Similarly, let us design the circuit for carry. Let us just recall the expression for carry. The expression for carry, when AK is equal to BK, CK is equal to AK or BK, and when AK is not equal to BK, CK is equal to CK minus 1. We'll try to get this expression. So when AK and BK, when both are 0, for this combination, the second row holds good. When both are 0, AK or BK is made available at CK. So we have considered a case where AK and BK both are 0. That means CK is equal to 0. Now for the next combination, that is when both AK and BK are 1. When both are 1, AK is made available at CK. In this case, CK becomes 1 as AK and BK are 1. For the next combination, that is when AK is 0, BK is 1. The third row gets enabled. AK is 0, BK is 1. So CK will be same as CK minus 1. And for the last combination, that is when AK is 1, BK is 0. The fourth row gets enabled. CK is same as CK minus 1. Let us look into the stick diagram now. So here the same thing is being redrawn. We know that when a diffusion layer crosses a polysilicon layer, then a transistor is formed. So here the expression for sum as well as carry both are shown. So how many transistors do we use for CK expression? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Similarly, for SK we make use of 8 transistors, and here we are using one more inverter, that is this combination acts as a buffering circuit. So for sum this circuit is considered, and for carry this circuit is considered. Let us see how this is being drawn. Here 4 inputs, that is AI, or you can take it as AK only, AK, AK bar, BK, BK bar. So here 4 metal layers are used. So the first one represents AK, the second represents AK bar, the third represents BK, and the fourth represents BK bar. And here this dot indicates the contact cut, and this is the polysilicon layer. Whenever the polysilicon layer crosses the diffusion layer, a transistor is formed. So here the diffusion paths are shown. When AK, let us look into the expression for carry first. When AK and BK, when both are 1, okay, let me consider this. When AK and BK both are 1, or when AK and BK when both are 0. Okay, for this combination you can see that this CK is same as AK or BK. That is from this circuit. That is when AK and BK when both are same, CK is same as AK or BK. So let us re-verify this. So here this line represents, this diffusion path represents AK. The next diffusion paths, it also represents AK. The third and the fourth diffusion paths, this is CK minus 1. Fifth and sixth diffusion path, it is CK minus 1. And the last two diffusion paths, that is CK minus 1 bar. Okay, now the next condition let me consider. When AK and BK, when they are different, that is 0 and 1 and look into the next diffusion paths AK and BK bar. So we can see that CK is same as CK minus 1. CK is same as CK minus 1. That's what we find in the circuit. Now let us look into the expression for sum. For sum expression, we can see that when AK and BK, when they are same, SK is equal to CK minus 1 bar after making the modification in the circuit. Let us see if it is the same here also. When AK and BK are same, that is, look into the last two diffusion paths. Okay, so SK becomes CK minus 1 bar, and look into the last, the previous the other combination. When AK and BK, they are different, that is A bar B and A B bar, then SK is same as CK minus 1. So here the design is done using NMOS circuits only. Suppose we design the same using CMOS, then you have to consider both the P diffusion as well as the N diffusion. So this is the circuit you get. So this circuit is drawn considering only the NMOS, whereas in CMOS, as you know, you have P diffusion as well as N diffusion. So the combination of that is taken and this diagram is drawn. So to design this, we need multiplexers, that is, for different combinations, one of the input is made available at the output end, and inverter circuits are used, that is, for buffering inverter circuits are being used, and communication paths, that is, whatever is made available at the input, it has to be made available at the output. It can be the same input is available at the output or the complementary input is available at the output. So to establish this, we need communication paths. So the standard requirements are multiplexers, inverter circuits and communication paths.